If you're hearing this, that probably means you bought AVGN Blu-ray number 4. Thank you very much for that. And as always, I record myself talking about some behind-the-scenes trivia. It'll probably be on YouTube eventually, but you're among the first to hear it. This might have to be a little shorter than usual because I'm under a major time crunch right now, but let that be the filter so I can narrow it down to the most interesting highlights. Let's see, I think the last Blu-ray included Paperboy, but I didn't know it was going to fit, so I only recorded comments up until Mega Man. So I'll start with Paperboy. I think a big goal of this episode was to make something easier because with Mega Man, I nearly killed myself. I actually broke the record for the amount of hours spent on a single episode, over 138 hours. 38 hours of pre-production, including playing all the games and writing the script. Over 47 hours shooting it, including all those complicated green screen shots, then over 53 hours of editing and doing effects. After that, I needed some fresh air, so while the final video was rendering, I went outside, rode my bike, and then the idea hit me, Paperboy. So I was just taking a breath, and then the next idea already came to mind. But that's a good thing because it's not common when I can start the next video without auditioning a bunch of games. Paperboy was a game I remembered as a kid, just when I thought I ran out of those. At first, I didn't think it would work because it was a well-loved classic game, but I have many gripes with it, and that mindset is what made for some of the classic AVGN episodes like Simon's Quest and Ninja Turtles. This episode was all about focusing on one single game. Mega Man was all about a whole series of games, but it's a lot quicker to just pick one game. Plus, it gives you more room to analyze the game deeper, provided that you have enough to say about it. There was one shot where I had to throw a newspaper at a mailbox while riding a bike. It was a difficult shot because the camera had to be high up in the air to imitate the game. The only way to get that high was to set the camera up at a second floor window. The real mailbox wasn't close enough to the house, so I had to get a new prop mailbox and put that under the window. Also, if I tried this on the street, that would be really tough. Could you imagine the headlines? Internet game critic killed by car while trying to throw newspapers into a mailbox. I didn't want to reenact the game that much. Beavis and Butthead. This was another simple one. I never thought it would be AVGN material. I always thought the game looked great as far as the graphics go and how it seems faithful to the show, but I played it on James and Mike Mondays, and we used a player's guide because I already knew the game was kind of cryptic. But when we played it, I was blown away by how ruthless it was, with no extra lives, and every time you die, you have to enter the password. No instant continues. So I was really surprised that it actually was AVGN material. So when I played it again, I really tried. I gave this game a chance, but it pissed me off to the max. The final scene, I blow up the games with a big cartoon bomb. The games I destroyed were fake. That is, they were real games, but they weren't Beavis and Butthead. They were cheaper, more common games. And of course, I never notice any mistakes until the episode airs. A lot of people told me that when the fake label burns, you can see the real label underneath. Berenstain Bears. Just when I thought I ran out of Halloween ideas, I ended up making what might be my favorite one ever. Just to give you an idea of how much work went into it, this episode took 89 hours to make. I think I have an obsession with taking things that aren't scary and making them scary. Mr. Bucket, Dream Phone, Berenstain Bears. The conspiracy about the spelling of Berenstain and the Mandela effect intrigued me because I had no idea it was spelled with an A until I was reading one of the books to my daughter. Then I heard other people talking about it and thought, this is great, so I gave it my own twist. The plot and theory behind this episode is insanely complicated. Even though this is one of my favorite episodes, it may have been my least favorite to make. Filming in the attic was horrible. It was over 100 degrees, so all that sweat you see on my face is real. But the bigger problem was that there wasn't much room for all my lights and stuff. I was always hitting my head or tripping over wires and shit, and the fake cobwebs were a huge inconvenience. They always got in the way, and they kept sticking to my sweaty skin. Every step I took, there was a piece of cobweb stretching to follow my every move. It was a disaster. Also, the audio in the attic was terrible. It was so terrible I had to re-record all the audio. So I hope I got the lip sync good enough. If you can't tell, then mission accomplished. That's what you call ADR, additional dialogue recording. Then came Sega Activator with special guest Keith Apicary. Having Keith meet the nerd in an episode was something I was planning to do for a long time. This rounded out a very diverse year for AVGN. What I liked about these episodes was that they were all different. This one in particular was another really tough episode. It took over 104 hours and cost over $3,000. I put my heart and soul into the videos because it was the first year in a while where there weren't any other projects taking priority. 2014 was all about finishing the Nerd movie, 2015 was all about Board James, and 2016 was all about the Nerd episodes. I did an entire audio commentary for this episode, so everything I have to say about it is in there, so go check out that commentary. Now we're into 2017. First came Power Rangers. Power Rangers was a show I missed out on when it was hot, so I did myself a favor and watched a bunch of it and made a big 2-part movie review. Following that, it only seemed natural that I did a nerd episode as well. It was another compilation game review, which is always extremely time-consuming, 66.5 hours on this one. My favorite parts were the effects scenes, which had an awesome cover song by Epic Game Music. The green screen stuff was all done in one crazy, sleepless, mad rush. There was a shot where I wanted a laser scope to land on my head. The idea was to pull it off my head with a string and then reverse it. But that thing was like stuck to my head. It didn't work, so I ended up having to shoot the laser scope separate and animate it. Another tricky one was the low-angle shot looking up at me. I would have had to put a green screen on the ceiling, which would have been too difficult, so instead I shot it with me laying on the floor. The camera was propped up on a board of wood, and I was laying down on some wheels, rolling myself along the floor to simulate the camera movement, when really the camera wasn't moving at all. Once everything was done, I only had a couple days left to sit down and do all the effects editing. Then came Sonic 06. This is the one I never thought I'd do, but I was desperate for ideas, and this must have been the biggest request at the time. I personally didn't think the game was that historically bad, and everybody's reviewed it already, so I passed on it year after year until finally giving in. And hey, it was a decent episode. Mike helped me record the gameplay because it was a newer console with HDMI output. I wasn't able to record it on any of my own equipment. I tried my MacBook and it just kept fucking up. Video but no sound, sound but no video, that kind of thing. My favorite part was the ending. It was a last-minute idea, but I like to think that's the same dungeon where he tortured the game Dark Castle, so maybe we'll see other games meet their fate down there. Planet of the Apes. This could have been a simple episode, but that didn't do it for me, so I made it all complicated by making the nerd throw a bunch of bad games out into space, only for them to go through a time portal, land on prehistoric Earth, primates discover them, kind of like 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then the nerd returns to present-day Earth to find the games change the course of history. Humanity owed everything to them. The final scene was a spoof of Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. It was very difficult to pull off in a short amount of time. Finding the correct shot of the Lincoln Memorial and all that, it was very tough to get all the right angles. And at last, for now, Game Boy accessories. I found it comical how many add-ons were made for the Game Boy. This episode was planned a year or two in advance, but it was delayed because some of the accessories are so rare I couldn't find them. Then I decided, fuck it. For the sonar and the shoes and all that, I'd never be able to find those, so I just used images from the internet. There was no other way. The most difficult part was getting the Game Boy printer to print. I had the wrong cable, so I had to order the right one. Then the printer still wouldn't work, and finally I got it to print. It was like a miracle, but it was very low on ink. At the time I'm recording this, the Game Boy video has just been finished, but not released yet. My second daughter is about to be born, so this is the beginning of my next chapter of life. I don't know. You know, shit. Fucking shit. Fucking shit! Oh, Boomy. No, I'm alright, Boomy. Boomy. Come on, Boomy. Boomy.
What?
Nothing.
What, Daddy? What's Boomy doing?
He's nothing. He's just being a pain. He's all right. Not my nose, but everything else. My eyes, my ears.
I tried to just hit your chin.
That was good.
Easier.
Cut the camera.
So like lighter
Spray.
sprays?
Like it doesn't need to go on my face at all, but
Okay.
it needs to just spray. I mean, whatever happens, happens. But oh, I see your hands. See your hands. Your hands are in the shot. Okay, go. Nothing. Oh, it fell. Seeing nothing. It's everywhere, but I'm just not seeing it.
It was coming out too cleanly. It wasn't like bouncing off at anything.
Yeah, it was
It just shot in a straight line right over your shoulder.
Yeah, but it soaked me, but it wasn't in. All right, we gotta try that again. I think that was a freak thing. Every time I let go of this, it slides. Oh, my elbows are fucking killing me.
All
Go. Where's it go?
It's gone.
Okay, go.
Right
I'm gonna
past
look at her now.
There you go.
It stings when it's in your eye.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It works.
Cool.
Okay, cut.
That was like real wood.
Oh, you okay?
I thought I was breaking my wood.
Oh crap! What happened?
I'm okay.
Wait, which wood?
This one.
3. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, that was a direct hit.
You killed my face.
All right, shit.
Yeah, I'm fine. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing beats the Terminator.
Okay. How many pages is this fucking thing? Oh my god. It's a game on Xbox 360, and it's only over. So I don't see how bad could this be, because you know, that boy's got to think. You got a dog, you got to respond, you got a pet, and it was the Sonic game for a new console and a new generation. This would be like as if. There's that fucking fly now. There's a fucking... It's not even a fly, it's a hornet. The movie got rushed and got farther along than the game. So I guess you could say the movie was really ahead of the game. Why'd that happen? Dude, what was that? Come on. Why does shit keep coming on the screen? In the Angry Video Game Nerd episodes, very often I have to get a shot of me putting a game into a console. May seem very simple, but when you have lights and sound and cameras all in the way, it gets very difficult. So when I do this, I have to reach
all the way back here to do this. Focus, please. All right, there we go. So I have to reach around this thing, and I could just barely do it without bumping the camera. But not only that, I want to get the CD out of the case and into the console all in the same shot. Can I do it? We'll see. Oh, another issue is that the focus is always tough. Do I focus on the console or do I focus on the game right here? So I have to find some, because the focus on the camera is very narrow. Fucking shit.